Alright, so in May I started making this 5-part video series, and it's taken me forever to finish it because part 1 has been a nightmare. It was supposed to tie all the themes together and sort of be this funny introductory video before I started delving into, personal stuff. And a lot of personal themes did come up as I was filming it. It got longer and longer of a series, and there were more and more ideas from my past that I just found myself exploring through this weird hybrid art form. And at times I thought this is becoming like too sincere and almost trite and a little bit stilted the way I was recording it. It was very scripted. But I don't know, it just feels like I want to share these videos. There's something important about them to me, and I could bury them, I could forget about them. But like when I think about, what could I change to make these shareable, to make them more internet friendly, it just feels like they were sort of a moment of emotional expression that can't really be perfected or changed. It just is what it is, and that maybe just releasing them in some ways, accepting that life will not always fall into these perfect boxes, and that art won't always be appreciated by everyone or even necessarily good, but it's still worth making. So that's what this video series is, some personal exploration and some fun music, very carefully selected music, and some time-lapse video of me making projects. So if you're into that, keep watching. But the only thing stopping me was part 1, and like I said, I thought it would be the funny one, but then when I went back and watched the video, it seemed very distant and grainy and kind of like you're looking at the project through a telescope and not experiencing all of the stress that went into making it, because it turned out eventually, but it was a nightmare to make. And I thought it would be a funny nightmare. I called it the Blue Menace in my head, and then it just didn't show up on video the way I wanted it to. So then I thought, well, I'll just add all of my complaints in. I'll just add all of my complaints in from all the different videos. But like, I'm used to having complete control over every single word in the papers I would write for school, and there's something very inorganic about trying to do that with video, especially when you're trying to make something that's funny and doesn't just sound like you're complaining for 20 minutes. And I'm still gonna complain in this video. It's not gonna be scripted anymore. I am still gonna complain, but if you want to skip part 1, because like I said, part 1 is just not working out. All you need to know is that I set out to make a papier-mâché figurine for my mom for Mother's Day, and that I had a lot of problems along the way, and then the rest you'll find out in the other videos. But yeah, if you want to hear the full story, my mom went to a Christmas party. She saw these figurines. She saw a pair of them, but I guess they were part of a nativity set, which I didn't know. But I was set out to make a pair of figurines for her, and I thought, it'd be fun to make a time-lapse video while I'm doing it. Like, why not? All you have to do for a time-lapse video is turn on a camera, right? Well, the first problem I had was trying to get the camera set up. I was trying to use my phone, and I set it on like bookshelves. At one point I used packing tape to strap it to this stack of like 12 books and like try and hover it over the workspace. It didn't work. No matter what I did, it didn't work. So I had to wait for my tripod to arrive, which was very exciting, my very first tripod. And I set it up, and then like I said, I got all the video, and then it seemed distant. It was hard to see the detail, and these are very detailed projects, especially part 2, looking back, or maybe it's part 3, is very detailed, and you can't really see that on camera. And then with this one, there's so many things that went wrong. I was gonna try and narrate it along with the video, which would have been really funny probably if I could have gotten it right, but I'm just gonna put some text on the screen. Basically, I knock over a bunch of glue, I give myself a friction burn folding them too fast, and a paper cut at one point, and at one point I was trying to tighten up these coiling spirals of papier-mâché, and I realized that it doesn't tighten up the normal way that a coil tightens up, like if you've ever tightened up a tape measure manually, because each individual piece is not actually connected. So when I thought that I was tightening it up, I was actually loosening it up, and at one point it all just fell apart into this mess. And in that moment I was like, there's just such a strange feeling right now, this chaos that I'm holding that could fall apart at any moment, or could all of a sudden all at once come together into some kind of art. And I was like, ooh, that's poignant, and it goes along with the theme of this being a nightmare to make. And then yeah, it didn't show up on video. And then as I was editing all of this, I realized that I have no idea how to edit a time lapse. I mean, 8 hours of, you'd have to go through every little bit if you wanted to speed it up to make sure you didn't leave in like a single frame of yourself walking in front of the camera, or changing like the music, or God forbid, like picking your nose on camera. Leave a single frame of that in for everyone to find when they pause at the wrong time. So I was facing down the prospect of watching 10 hours of footage to cut all those bits out, and you know it would take at least twice as long if you have to stop and cut things out. And then trying to find the highlights, these moments that I remember doing when I made the craft, but which aren't obvious from a quick pass over it where they happened. And so what I ended up using was the chaos method of editing, which is where you just go to a random point and then you watch for 30 seconds, pick the highlight, and keep moving. So you get a cross section of the video, but you don't necessarily capture the entirety of what it is to be there doing it, which is fine, because that's kind of the point of art, is that you're there, present, making it, and not necessarily something that you can transfer through any finished product or video in its entirety. And then the other thing was getting the audio to match up with the video, because each thing has its own pacing that's unique, and trying to get narration that matches up with the video while also having a decent pacing, while also matching the video's own internal pacing, was a headache. And I'm a perfectionist that was probably overthinking it. I kept trying to think of this perfect way to do it, but I actually think I'm probably going to be taking a break from dialogue for a bit, just so I can focus on the video stuff, because I really enjoy the pacing of video, making it, I don't know, sometimes the dialogue just feels like this clunky object in the middle of everything else that I'm editing that I can't edit around without ruining the pacing of it, and my acting isn't that good yet anyway, so it's not like something I'm excited about preserving in my videos for now. Yeah, I think I probably missed a lot of the things that I was going to complain about, but I will just throw them in the video because they weren't important. I hope you enjoy the rest of the series. This one's the boring one, and in fitting with the rest of the series, if there's anything in your life that's just boring and draining and soul-sucking, then skip it and focus on the art and the emotions and the stuff that makes you feel alive. God, I hope that's good enough. I've recorded so much different audio for part 1, and it's always been bad, and I've redone it, so I hope this is the one. I hope this is the one you're listening to right now, because I finally released these videos.
Try